They quoted me 2 hours to diagnose a check engine light. I spent $49, plugged in, and had the same codes they did in under 5 minutes. That's when I learned why flat rate exists and how it quietly fattens your bill. In this video, I'll show you the exact $50 gadgets, like VCDS for VW Audi or a Bluetooth OBD2 app, that pull live data, clear simple faults, and arm you with questions that kill upsells. By the end, you'll know when to authorize work, when to walk, and how to turn that diagnostic fee into $0. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. They promised 2 hours for the brake job. You watched the car go up on the lift, answered an email, and saw it back on the ground before your latte cooled. Yet the bill still showed the full 2 hours. That gap between what the clock says and what the invoice shows is where flat rate lives, and it explains why the price never seems to match the pace you just saw. Flat rate is simple on paper. Every task has a book time pulled from labor guides, and the shop bills that amount regardless of how long the tech actually spends. Book time might say 2 hours for pads and rotors, but a seasoned tech with the right tools can wrap it well under that. The system rewards speed because finishing early means the tech can grab another ticket and earn more. What it doesn't reward is transparency, because you never see the stopwatch, only the line item. Here's the conflict. A 1-hour job done in 20 minutes still pays the full hour. Stack 3 of those in an afternoon, and the book says 3 hours while the clock says 1. Your car covers the first ticket, the next car covers the second, but the total hours billed keep marching up. That's how one bay can produce a day's worth of labor by lunch without any line on the invoice that hints at the time saved. Take a cabin air filter on a late model sedan. The labor line often shows 0.5 hour. On many cars, you pop the glove box stops, swing it down, slide the filter out, and slide the new one in. 6 minutes if you know the trick and you've done it before. The invoice still prints the half hour. To most customers, it looks normal because the language is generic and the format is familiar. Labor guides like Mitchell and Chilton set those book times, and dealers peg rates high. $150 to $250 per hour is common. Multiply that by small services, and the math gets heavy fast. Battery registration on a BMW is a good example. The book might show roughly 0.7 hour. With the right tool, the actual clicks take minutes. A TPMS relearn often lists 0.5 to 1.0 hour, yet with the correct trigger and menu path, it's over before the customer finishes signing. Even a basic code scan, plugging in and pulling DTCS, gets billed as a 0.5 to 1.0 hour diagnostic. None of this is illegal. The issue is opacity. Trouble starts when a shop front-loads diagnostic time without clear consent, or rolls quick checks into an inspection package with a round number that hides what was actually done. You think you're paying for careful sleuthing. The reality might be a few minutes of menu navigation and a printed report. You can flip the script at the counter. I'll give you a simple line that forces real-time accountability on hours and steps, and you can use it without picking a fight. Before that, lock in a baseline set of questions that reset the power dynamic and put the burden on clarity, not assumptions. Ask, what's the book time on each line? Pause until you get numbers. Then, how much actual technician time will you allocate to my car? Follow with, if the tech finishes early, do you adjust the labor? And, can I see the line item diagnostic notes before authorizing parts? Deliver it calmly. You're not accusing anyone. You're asking for the map before you pay for the road. Now that you know how the billing game works, here's the $50 move that takes away their favorite lever, the paid scan, so you arrive with data they can't ignore. If the service writer opens with a $199 scan fee, walk in with the same data they see and ask why you're paying twice. Most cars share enough information through the standard port that you don't need a $1,000 tablet to find the starting point. You only need data you can verify. And that's what a $50 setup gives you. Codes, context, and a snapshot of how the engine was running when the fault tripped. Here's the simple split. OBD2 is the universal language for emissions and drivability faults. So a basic tool will pull codes, freeze frame data, and live sensor readings across brands. OEM level diagnostics go deeper, talking to brand-specific modules like ABS, airbag, and body control with advanced tests and coding. You may not code injectors or reprogram keys at home, but you can pre-diagnose the core issue and arrive with evidence that narrows the tree. That cuts the fluff and keeps you from buying an hour of, "Let's see what we find." Dealers like to suggest their scanner is the only one that can talk to your car. The reality is owner-grade tools already read the pieces that matter for triage. Freeze Frame tells you RPM, coolant temp, load, and throttle when the problem occurred. Mode 6 exposes misfire counts per cylinder before a code even sets. Live data shows fuel trims and sensor behavior in real time. With those three, you can tell if the issue is a loose gas cap, a single cylinder misfire, or a fuel control problem that needs testing, not guessing. If you drive a VW or Audi, VCDS is the heavy hitter. It reaches manufacturer modules, grabs measuring blocks, and runs output tests like fan or pump activations. You get near dealer-level visibility without renting a service bay. You'll pay a fraction of the dealer's diagnostic cost once, and it keeps working as long as you own the cable. For anyone who wants that depth on these brands, it's the most cost-effective way to skip the gatekeeping. For multi-make coverage under $100, look at Autel's Maxia P or MK series in Blue Driver. These pull and clear codes, stream live PIDs, and on many cars trigger evap tests. They provide enough data to identify trends, confirm common faults, and document what the car is doing under specific conditions. You'll see short and long-term fuel trim swing, O2 sensor switching, and coolant temps tracking. When a shop says, "We need to start with a scan," you can counter with numbers, not opinions. On the lowest rung, pair a Bluetooth OBD2 dongle with Torque Pro or car scanner for under $50. You'll retrieve P0XXX codes, read freeze frame, watch O2 trims and MAF readings, and set a dashboard for coolant temp, fuel trims, and ignition timing. If an EVAP code like P0456 shows up after a fill-up, you'll know to test the cap and watch the system readiness reset. The same setup flags a failing coolant sensor or lazy upstream O2 long before you waste money on random parts. I'll give you a one-page diagnostic note template that turns your screenshots into a clear request. Then make the call that turns $200 into $0. If I provide P0302 with freeze frame and Mode 6 misfire data, will you waive diagnostic and go straight to cylinder 2 testing? If not, what additional tests are you doing and why? With data in hand and the right questions, you steer the estimate instead of chasing it.